Hello, my name is Olumide Okewale, the lead engineer here at Cloudsania. Today I'm going to be walking us through how to create a CI/CD pipeline on Cloudsania. I know the question will be, how do I create a CI/CD pipeline? Don't I need to, create a YAML file or use a CI tool to do this? And the answer is no. With Cloudsania, the goal is to simplify your cloud operations for you. And in order to do that, we are making it easy for you to interact with the cloud without the cloud complexity or the cloud knowledge as well, right? And that is how that's how the pipeline came about. So how does this work? We're going to go into this project, into our environment, and I'll be carrying out this setup using the prod environment. And the active connector is Cloudsania NC Prod, which is the cloud provider for Namecheap. So we are going to be carrying out this test on a VPS server in Namecheap, right? And to do that, we're going to come to the CI/CD pipeline module. Like we have it is currently still undergoing a beta phase. So we just released that few days ago for users to try it out. We all know that at the point when you are done setting up your project, you are done setting up your server, you need to have a continuous integration, continuous deployment strategy in place that helps you push every new code that you build or any new changes you make to your application during the development phase to your server and makes it accessible to the users, that's if it's on prod, or probably make accessible to the stakeholders if it's on dev, right? In this case, the traditional way is that you have a CI/CD, you use a CI tool, right? You have a workflow file, a YAML file that does all of this for you. But in Cloudsania, we have made it into very easy steps. All you just have to do is give us the necessary information and we'll undo the rest for you, right? So we are creating a pipeline for the landing page on Cloudsania, and we are specifying the branch that we want this CI to listen to, and the server I want to deploy this to. Currently we only have one server, which is the production server, and we proceed with specify some information which is very important. The build step or the build settings. This is where all of the magic happens. The deployment agent here is Docker. We believe that every application rolled out for easy scalability and also being able to handle your dependencies within a certain container or using the containerized approach, we Dockerize it. So that way the dependencies, the binaries, the necessary packages or things that is needed for an application to function adequately is not installed into the server, but always installed or is a part of the deployment in a certain container. So we are using Docker, for instance, to orchestrate this pipeline, right? And the repository language is JavaScript. You can think it's TypeScript, yes. And the framework used for building this application is Next.js, right? And package manager is Yarn, right? And you can specify the build package command if you want to run if you want to build the dependencies, or also you can put in the install package command if you want to install the dependencies, right? And the reason why we get to have this fill this command is because we specify that in the pipeline stages you want to build the packages, you want to install the packages. So these are basically the steps that the pipeline would execute when it finds that it meets a certain condition. So in the case where this is true, it runs the install the packages, right? In the case where the build package command is also true, it install the build packages as well. And there are some default stages that this pipeline will run regardless, which is to build the Docker image and also to deploy the application to the server. But in this video, I won't be carrying out any of these stages. I won't be installing the packages, and also I won't be building the packages. So the only thing I'll just be doing is to build my Docker image and also to deploy. And in case you want to also test the pipeline or test the application during deployment, you can toggle this on. And also, you want to run an integration test, you can toggle it and specify the command, right? This might vary based on different applications and based on the testing tool that you use. So it's easy for you to just type it in and say okay, run this command, unit test, just test, right? But like I said in this video, I'm just going to be doing just these two things: the build Docker image and also deploy the application. So the final step here is to specify a Docker path, right? We understand that we can have multiple Docker file in a repository or in a service. You can have a Docker file that is for production environment, another Docker file that is for staging, for dev, or for QA environment, right? So that way, when the pipeline is triggered, or when the conditions are met, right, the pipeline checks for the Docker file that you want to use for this particular environment, right? So for this prod environment, my Docker file is located in the root directory of my application, and the file name is Docker file, right? So that makes it very easy for Docker to point to. Also, the next thing here is to specify the port, right? The port this application is going to be running on. So 6000. And specify the environmental variables. For this application, there are no environmental variables, so I'm just going to toggle this off, right? So the next on the next configuration is to specify the domain record. So when you create this pipeline, so many things are being done for you under the hood by Cloudsania. First off is we configure a trigger that listens to anytime a merge is being done to a particular branch. That is being configured for you. The next thing is we create a nginx record that maps to that particular port in the server. Anytime you want to carry a deployment or a new change, that can actually point straight down to your nginx record, or your nginx record for easy routing of the traffic from your load balancer, right? The third thing we do is create a DNS record for you. So in the case whereby the landing page, for instance, want to be on landing.cloudsania.com, the Cloudsania platform creates that for you without you having to go to your DNS registrar to do that manually, right? So you don't have to manually go into the server to create an nginx record. You don't have to manually create a DNS record yourself. You don't have to manually create your YAML file. All of these three things are done for you, right, with Cloudsania, just by you creating or putting in just the information that you need, or the information that we request from you in Cloudsania. And in the case where you don't specify any domain, Cloudsania creates a default subdomain for you under the Cloudsania app domain, right? So how does that work? Once you don't specify a domain, let's say you don't have an integration or a DNS registration done, a DNS integration done on Cloudsania, and you want to create a pipeline, probably you don't have a domain yet, or a lot of things can happen. We create a record for you, a default record for you to just have access to the application over the browser. So it could be anything, maybe landing.cloudsania.app. It could be some random figures or random strings.cloudsania.app. So that way you can have access to your pipeline, you can go ahead with your changes, you can go ahead with your updates, and you are very good to go. So in this case, I'm not going to leave this blank, right, because I want Cloudsania to handle that part for me, right? And the final step here is to generate a Docker file. So since our deployment approach is you need to have either a Docker file or a Docker compose file, right? And in the case where you don't have one created at all, right, you don't have a Docker file in your application, or probably you don't even understand how it works, or like for a non-technical person, we still have you in mind, right? And that is where we have the Cloudsania AI agent. So the moment you toggle Cloudsania AI agent to create a Docker file for you, it creates a Docker file based on the information that you've provided here, right? And let's just try that out to see how it works. So Docker file is being generated by the AI agent, and it should be displayed in any minute. So here we have it. So it's using a node 14 as your builder, your workspace directory, package or JSON. So with this Docker file, you can proceed to copy it and create a Docker file in your application, run this locally to see if it works for you, update the node version if it also, your node version you are using is a later version. I think node 14 is actually an old version, so you can change that as well to the updated one. So that way, you automatically have a Docker file, right? And because the prod environment is the environment you are deploying on is prod, it automatically picks that, specifies it to production. And also, you stated that your npm package, your package manager is yarn. That is easily done for you as well. So let's proceed to create this pipeline, and let's see what happens. So now this pipeline has been created, right? We are good to go. Now we can proceed to deploy this application. So remember, our source is GitHub, the organization is Pensania, the repository is landing page, the branch you have to listen to is prod, the server that any new update to be deployed to is Cloudsania prod server, and you can view the actions. So this is where you get to see how your deployment has been done. Currently, we don't have any deployment for this particular pipeline. All right, so like I said, the deployment is happening right now for you, right? So deploying this, the landing page, the prod environment, this was done, my time here. So we can come in here to see the deployment, can view the deployment log. Okay, so update time of service, which is what I just did. This is deploying. This building Docker image, which are the two stages that I specified. Go back here, also can come back here to continue seeing the jobs. And this is Cloudsania. So at the end of the day, Cloudsania is up and running. All jobs successfully run. You can go back and so that's a Cloudsania platform. Try it out. Let's get your feedback. Thank you.